actually shuts just before we get into talking about the tragic circumstances of the last few hours, particularly to the local media. I just want to say thank you. Thanks for your personal messages, your condolences, your messages of support. It means a lot to our footy club. Thank you for giving us a bit of time, actually a bit of a chop out to just catch our breath and deal with what we had to deal with this morning. I'm sure you're going to have lots and lots of questions. I'm not sure we've got all the answers. We'll give it our best shot though. Look, today, frankly, has been all about and is going to be all about wrapping our arms around the Adelaide Football Club community. In particular, Meredith, Phil's wife, and his family. To the extended Phil family, the players, coaches, staff, and indeed the fans and members, sponsors, supporters. This is just making sure that we've got all of the right infrastructure around in terms of providing the necessary support that they're all going to need. They do need, and won't stop today, Fags. We'll do that today, and we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it for however long it takes, and I'd even extend that to some of you that know Phil. It's been a long day. Andrew and I have been here since just after 4 this morning, and we've had a series of meetings, naturally with staff, with players, starting with the leadership group very early this morning, the assistant coaches and support staff, and it's devastating. As I said, it's all about wrapping our arms around all of these guys, all the people in our footy community, and offering them all the support that we can provide. Why don't I pause there and hand over to you guys.
How did you find out this morning?
I got a phone call at 3:30 a.m. From the police to say that a tragedy had unfolded, and that involved Phil Walsh, our coach. That's a phone call no one ever wants to get. I rang Andrew together with David Noble in Shuttleworth. The four of us met down here at the club, as I said, just after 4, and then progressively we involved other members of the footy club, and you know, you've got to get straight into crisis management, and this is a crisis unprecedented. There's no rule book, and we're dealing with it.
Well, could you work us through each group of the clubs?
Yep, sure.
Dealing with this and what you've got.
Yeah, sure. You know, first things first, you know, we sat down and we just worked out who had to be contacted. We made certain we didn't leave anybody out. We thought it critical to engage the leaders of the football club, firstly and foremostly. To that extent, we spoke to the coaches, assistant coaches, and then to the leadership team, the players. And that was around 7 a.m. this morning. As I said, you can imagine the shock, the reaction, and we engaged with them. Post that, so let's roll it all out for you. I rang my board, all of whom are here. Andrew, his executive. We spoke to every staff member, every player, and there are a couple that are overseas, and we contacted them, and we made sure everybody got the message, the story, the facts as we knew them and understand them or understood it at the time. And that's how it's unfolded. We had a meeting in this room with both staff and players. We've had follow-up meetings in this room with staff and players and with the leadership team. And as I said, you know, we've got to go through this process now.
And just you've dealt with
No, not really, Michelangelo. It's another tragedy. The only positive is that in a football club, it's an environment that's an extraordinary one in terms of its ability to wrap itself around those that need care. I have had experience with that previously with a player passing away, and this club's reacted in exactly the same way, and to be fair, so has the broader football community. As Rob said, that's been the focus of our attention. It's just to wrap ourselves around those that need the most care. In addition to what Rob said earlier, we've obviously provided staff, players, all of those associated with the club with support mechanisms. Some of those come from themselves, so with each other, ensuring that the leaders are playing a strong role within the club, that every single player is being looked after. We've got our chaplain involved, our player development manager, the employee assistance program. We've got trauma counsellors that we've engaged. I want to thank the AFL Players Association for also working with us in that regard to ensure that we've got all the expertise necessary to provide the players with the support that they need. And we'll continue to do that, obviously, not just today, but in the days and weeks ahead.
The game of football is pretty insignificant now, so how did you then deal with the immediate point that comes from the AFL for the community? What do you do next?
Yeah, so look, again, the first priority always is just to care for the players. We did obviously have a logistical issue ahead of us with a game that was scheduled for Sunday. We, at first, just wanted to deal with the issue at hand, informing those that needed to be informed, the stakeholders, the players in particular, providing support to Meredith and her family. Then, and we've had, as Rob alluded to, we've had several meetings today with the playing group. A couple of hours ago, we spoke to them about the match on Sunday, and I think it'd be unfair and inappropriate to ask them to play, and not just our club. It'd be, I think, unfair on the Geelong Football Club as well. And that position was certainly shared by the playing group, was communicated back to the AFL, and we're very supportive of the stance that they've taken.
Rob,
Can you
how
just-
coping at this early stage?
It's not a one-size-fits-all answer, Andrew. Everyone's going to cope in their own individual way. We've said it's important, to make sure they're speaking to each other. We did ask them to stay around for a couple of hours. We thought this was a good environment to be in. We did have some history to draw upon with, obviously, Dean Bailey, our mate of a couple of years ago. Some are by themselves and they'll cope by being by themselves, but it's a message I might land. Just make sure you ask each other how you're going at the end of the day, and whether you're a player, coach, fan, father, mother, just talk to people.
Yeah, and Rob, I think it's fair to say as well that there's been an outpouring of support, and we have to think about our supporter base here as well. Particularly some of our youngest supporters. We've got to hopefully have the mums and dads out there that can explain the situation to the youngest of our supporters. That we've had those in the club, the children of staff and players who are struggling to comprehend it. We certainly encourage our supporters to ensure they're doing their best to try and explain the tragedy that's unfolded out here today.
It's an amazing industry, Andrew. Just the support that has been offered to us this morning from the AFL, Coaches Association, Players Association, far and wide. It's humbling.